Welcome back to the Wind Up, a weekly RuCap show where I, Microphone, and he, Shaun, Phillip, Naylor, RuCap and review all the latest episodes of Drag Race. This time around, we are doing Canada's Drag Race, Canada versus the world. Don't forget you can follow us over on our Instagram, which is at @thewindup_pod for all of the latest news and content, as well as our much beloved outtakes, which is more or less just me burping. You can also follow him at Shaun Phillip Official and me at Microphone. Give us a like, give us a follow, subscribe to everything that you see us on, and keep up to date with us talking about this much beloved franchise. Hello.
Hi, we're back.
We're back. Cheers.
Cheers. So, obviously we've been away for a little bit. Canada versus the world is happening. We're back in the world of podcasting and YouTube. So obviously everybody's super happy to see us. Miss Microphone, what are you drinking?
Oh, today I am drinking Cupio Pinot Noir Dry Rosé.
That's delicious.
And it's cheap because it's one that my company buys and I get discounts on it. So that's why I bought it.
I love it. I myself am drinking a cheap Prosecco that cost me all of $7 because waiting for payday.
Yellowtail, Yellow Glen, Bailey and Bailey.
Oh, it's much worse. I can't tell you.
Wolf Blass.
Lower.
There's not much lower.
It's Koa Cove.
Oh, Koa.
It's actually not too bad for like a $7. Yeah.
Yeah, New Zealand Pinot Noir Chardonnay.
Yeah. She's cool.
Yeah, we sell that.
We're into her. Like, she's a good budget. If you're on a budget, kids, and you want some bubbles on a budget, go there, get that.
I mean, I would never buy anything less than $15, but still.
Well, look at you. You're the classy one in your disco get-up, all ready for the new disco theme.
Yeah, their promo looks were all disco. Can we just quickly touch on how good did they all look in their promo looks?
Amazing.
Like, stunning. The disco theme, loved it. Very different, very unique. All the queens looked amazing. Obviously, we're going to break down each queen's entrance look, discuss them briefly on their previous seasons, what we thought of their entrance look. We'll cut straight to what we thought of the challenge and then their runways. Oh, and I am going to be discussing Brooklyn's runway.
I have so many questions for you about so many things in this. I mean, firstly, has it been retooled in the sense that when we were watching it, there was utter shock in the house when we were just a bit like, why are the tops lip syncing? Like, is this new information?
Oh, okay. No. So you obviously didn't watch UK versus the world.
Started to, but then got hooked on a couple of Netflix shows when I was in my downtime.
So, but also too, have you been watching any of the American All Stars? No. Okay. So this is the All Stars format that they do. So in all the iterations, because technically the Versus the World franchise is an All Stars spin-off. So their format is with the weekly challenge, the hosts actually don't send anyone home. They pick the top 2 queens and then they pick the bottom 2 or 3 queens. The top 2 queens lip sync for their legacy. The winner then gets a cash tip of usually about $10,000, unless it's the UK because, they can't give away money. And then they have the power to send one of the bottom queens home. Now, if in the event that it's a tie lip sync, both top queens reveal their lip syncs, and that's who goes home. So, for example, if there's 2 bottom queens and they each pick a bottom lip sync and they both tie, both those queens go home.
Bye, bitches.
Yeah, that's never happened as yet. But a little quick inside
Yes,
tea.
please. We love tea with Maya.
So I had heard after UK season one, there was a Aussie expat that's now a British queen, who was back over, and I did a show with her. Um, and she was telling me that the UK had signed on for 3 seasons of Drag Race and an All Stars. UK one, two, three, All Stars. So UK versus the world.
Mm-hmm.
I've now noticed we've just had Canada one, two, three, Canada versus the world.
Are you thinking
I I have a theory that we're about to have Down Under 3 and followed quickly by Down Under versus the world.
that theory seems to hold.
I mean, it's just a theory, a drag theory. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Much excitement.
Well, let's get into it. So,
Yes.
kicking things off, our first queen to enter well, it's not the workroom this time. So, the UK the versus the world franchise has the queens returning via the main stage. And the
Mm-hmm.
first queen to enter is season one runner up, Rita Baga.
Um,
Oh,
thoughts?
okay.
Yeah. Like, look, you are obviously a seasoned queen. Why don't you go first with what you thought, and then I will share my feelings, thoughts, all the little
So,
things.
if did you watch Canada? Did you watch Drag Race Canada season one?
No, so this is fun for me because
Okay.
I hadn't watched any of Canada's Drag Race. So there's a
Oh,
few new faces that I'm not familiar
for
with.
you, yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah.
think this is a really fun way to look at it because obviously you're very well versed in these queens and you've seen them in all the other shows. I'm seeing them for the first time with fresh new eyes. And I
Right,
think it's going to be fun.
which would also explain why your reaction to Rita Baga is different to my reaction to
Uh-huh.
Rita Baga. So Rita was known on season one of Canada's Drag Race for being this alien-esque like look queen, very campy, very over the top. She's from Montreal, so she's French. Um, her look back into the Drag Race fandom, the green was just she looked stunning. I thought she looked amazing. What I love the most about any All Stars season is you can tell the queens that have had work done. They all come back with cheek fillers, lip fillers, the Botox, the sculpting. They've got all of that. Rita has obviously been touched by an angel just a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, but the thing that I love the most is this time around, she comes across as a lot more relaxed. In Canada's Drag Race season one, she was obviously there to win. She was very focused. This time around, she's just all of a sudden exuding a little bit more calmness for me. But she looked amazing walking onto that stage, like stunning. And I can expect we're going to get some great looks from her.
Yeah. Okay. So I loved her look. I really liked it. And yes, she did look gorgeous in the green. Um, not being overly familiar with her, she gives me a slight Hans the German vibe, if you know who Hans is.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you.
Um, which I'm into. Like, I love it. I think it's great. I there was something when she first came on. I didn't like her. Like, I didn't
Mm-hmm.
dislike her, but like walking around the stage, going, "Oh, is this? I'm the first here. I'm the only one. Is this a superiority thing?" Like, I get it. You're trying to be funny. Maybe I just don't get your sense of humor. But I will say,
Again, I think that's because you didn't see her the first time around.
right. But what I will say is, by the end of the episode, I was very much here for her.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing is, if that's your first impression of her, I can completely get why you'd be put off. Um, but if you'd watched the first season, then you'd be like, oh yeah, that's her.
Cool. But
Second
yeah, her
queen.
outfit was great. Just
Oh yeah,
very
second queen
like,
to
oh,
enter.
I cut you off again.
No, 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 go for it. That's
I was
where
gonna
our in Trixie and Katja.
I was gonna say that she is giving me evil queen vibes.
Yes, very, very much that. Very evil queen. Very it more like the Charlize Theron in the
Mm-hmm.
Snow White and the Huntsman. That evil queen.
Yeah.
Second queen to enter, I believe, from memory, was Stephanie Prince.
Yes. Also a queen in green, much like you
So
today.
she's from season two of Canada's Drag Race, who she was a filler queen. She only got about halfway through. But she was known for her extraordinary runways, almost winning the first design challenge by making a gorgeous, almost feather-looking gown out of paper. So I was surprised to see her announced for it, though. But I mean, was obviously a fan favorite from season 2. She looked good. Well, not my favorite entrance look, I'm not going to lie. It was very...
Did you see when she walked in, specifically her feet?
No.
So she had these, like, I think they're like a neon green heel, but it was like she couldn't walk in them. It was really awkward. I don't know if maybe the shoes were too big, or she, I don't know, has that like a heel spur. Who knows? It could be a medical drama. But she looked like she was really struggling to walk down that runway. Maybe it was nerves. I don't know.
Our third queen is Kendall Jenner, who came as a runner-up on season 2. She comes out in... The fuck was she wearing?
I can tell you, because as we go through this, I am also watching it on my phone. Thank you.
Oh, that's right. Is it little blue, like, jumpsuit thing?
Yeah. It's like Cirque du Soleil. Blue. I want to be Wonder Woman with a weird headpiece. Like, she looked nice. Her makeup was pretty.
So Kendall's thing is always body proportions. She's always made sure she's got the right body proportion for anything. Her name is a takeoff of Kendall Jenner, obviously.
Which I'm here for. Like, I thought that was cute.
In her season, I wasn't the biggest fan. I definitely think there could have been others that made it to the finale over her. But I understand why she was brought back, because she was a fan favorite, because she did so well in her season. Not the greatest runways, so she's more of a personality than anything else.
Right.
So, I mean, spoiler alert, you've already seen the episode usually, but she obviously doesn't do too well this season either.
No, she didn't seem too pleased about sashaying away.
No, but her entrance look was okay. I wasn't wowed by it, because obviously I couldn't even remember what she wore.
Exactly. Queen number 4. Who have you got for us, Miss Microphone?
Queen number 4. Now, I was shocked to see this queen, being the fact that she won season 2 of Canada's Drag Race. The winner, Isis Couture. I mean, she comes in looking phenomenal. Like,
she looks amazing.
Her walk into the franchise once again, like, she's upholding her legacy. She's proving, I won this bitch for a reason, and I'm going to show you why I won this bitch.
How do we feel about like a winner coming back?
Well, I mean, they already did it once before in the US for All Stars 3 when Bibi Zahara Benet, who won season 1, came back. So All Stars is, I guess, a different kettle of fish. However, my thing is, so when they brought Bibi Zahara Benet back for season 3 of All Stars for the US, it had been almost 10 years since she won. Isis literally won not even 12 months ago. So I think it's a little too soon to be having a winner back.
Yeah.
But I understand why they brought a winner back. Although there were plenty of queens from season 1 and season 3, although I think this was filmed just before season 3 of Canada. But there were plenty of queens from both that they could have brought back in her place. But I'm super excited to see what she does. She won for a reason. Her looks are always stunning, because she makes everything herself. And you see that from her runway look is gorge. So she's going to be definitely one to watch this season.
So I'm excited to see what she brings, because obviously, like you say, she won for a reason. She obviously was very quick to mention that she probably has a target on her back because she is a winner, and I think that's probably a fair assumption.
Absolutely. I'd be worried as well if I was a winner coming back into a competition
and
that I'd previously won. Maybe. But if I was in that situation, I would 100% be worried that I was going to be the first queen out, because everyone would be like, no, we need to take you out. You won. You don't need this.
Yeah.
Our fifth queen to enter, and our first international queen is Down Under's very own Anita Wiglet.
Anita Wiglet.
I I shouldn't be openly admitting this. It took me until Brooklyn saying her name for me to understand what her name was.
Oh, is this like another Courtney Act thing? Like we
I
did
did,
last season? We're like
yeah,
caught in the act.
I didn't get Anita Wiglet's name during Down Under season one.
How
I was
did you
like, okay,
not? That's too funny. She needs
I
to wiggle it,
did
baby.
not process at all. I just kept going. I don't get. I'm like Anita Wiglet. Okay, yeah, cool. I assumed it was something to do with a wig, like I need a wig, and I'm like, yeah, cool. You're a drag queen. You need wigs. Yep. And it wasn't until Brooklyn said her name, but the way Brooklyn said her name, I was like, I need to wiggle it. Oh my god. My housemate just looked at me and was like, did you just get that? I'm like, maybe. He's like, Maya, no. I'm like, I
Yeah.
didn't I didn't process. I didn't process. Um, but yeah, Anita walks in. I mean, she looks good. She's definitely not one that's gone and got any work done
Not
between.
yet. No.
Um, I mean, she's going to be a crowd divider. I feel the reason I say that is I don't think her sense of humor is going to translate well to a North American audience.
Yeah.
Um, because our sense of humor down here is very, very different to theirs.
Mm-hmm.
And you can already tell that from her and the challenge as well. It's yeah, I feel like she might struggle a little bit like her humor translating
Yeah.
to
Like not everybody gets that Aussie humor.
no.
And
And
we can be quite offensive to some people,
I was also a little
good
bit
cunt.
surprised. She we do love the word cunt.
Mm-hmm.
She came in very timid, I found.
Mm-hmm.
So she kind of came in and then she approached the other queens very awkwardly, but not like awkward as in like what she presented on Down Under, very awkwardly as in like, hi, I'm here. How are you? Um, out of the four of the Canadian queens, Rita seemed to be the only one that knew who she was.
That's true. Yeah.
So
But I mean, out of the queens from season one of Down Under.
I I I'm not surprised they chose Anita because obviously her exit line in season one was, "Is it too early to talk about All Stars?" Um,
True.
but I am surprised because I would have 100% had my money on Art.
Yeah, exactly.
I would have
That's what I was
100%
thinking.
if they were going to pick a Down Under queen to do a versus the world. I would have 100% had my money on Art. But maybe they're saving her for Down Under.
Maybe.
Mm, mm.
Okay. Queen number
Her. I
6. Oh, sorry, we're still on Anita.
was gonna say. I was gonna say her look. Yeah, her look was nice.
It was
I.
pretty. It was very kind of like it was classic. She had like almost like a Marilyn Monroe-ish kind of hairstyle going on, but with like the black
Yeah.
glitter, which was cute.
Like yeah, she looks good. Like it wasn't a wow moment though for me.
No. And of course, she had her signature face, which with a nose that big, you gotta have a signature face.
I think it's a nerves thing. The mouth thing that she does. I think it's a
The
nerves
big
thing.
mouth, like the big lips.
Though yeah, no, well, no, I'm talking about the way she always stands there, like
Mm.
because you notice throughout the rest of the episode when they're having serious conversations, she's standing there like I think it's a
Like one
nerve
of
thing.
those
I don't think
clowns at
yes,
the
I
amusement
don't,
park.
but I don't think I don't think it's intentional. I think it's when she's obviously nervous and not as in like well, I guess yeah, maybe intimidated nervous, but I feel like it's a nerves thing that she can't control that she's doing that, which then again I think is going to put off a lot of people because they're going to think that she's not taking things seriously.
Yeah, okay. True.
Uh, sixth queen to enter is. Look, I'm not going to lie. I was not happy to see her coming back.
Really?
Um, wait, Silky was next, wasn't she? Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Silky
You
Nutmeg Ganache.
you were not happy to see Silky?
I'm not the biggest fan, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, "Oh, you're not a fan because of this reason or this reason." I'm not a fan because of how she was presented on season 11, 12, 11. I'm not a fan of because of how she was presented on season 11, but I'm also not a fan of how I there's something about huge personalities like that overpower everyone else that I don't gel with, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of the biggest fan favorite drag queens from the franchise, I'm not the biggest fan of because I was just like, I mean, I get why people like them. Like she's not a horrible queen in any sense, but I'm just not a huge. I don't react positively to such a big personality.
Right.
If
Because
that
she
makes
is very
sense.
much a big personality. Like she
Oh, huge
is
personality.
loud and sassy, and she is
Mm.
here, and she
And
wants you to know that she is here.
there's nothing wrong with that. But I do feel like there is a time and a place for all of that, if that makes sense.
Does make sense. I'm looking forward to seeing what looks she brings to the show because I think she's
Same, because she's not well known for amazing runways.
her entrance look. What did you think? The big blue number with like the face mask. She had a little
I
glass of
think
bubbles.
I think I preferred her. So again, you wouldn't have seen it because you haven't watched it. I would have. I think I preferred her workroom entrance in All Stars 6. So she wore what was like a blue jumpsuit, which had a lot of like almost like a fluffy tulle
I think
half
they.
skirt
I'm pretty sure they
with
showed
like
that footage.
a giant ponytail that was all buns. Like I loved that workroom look. That was stunning and it looked amazing on her. This one, I was like, yeah, okay, cool.
Cool. I love the blue. I thought it was a really nice blue for her. Um, face mask was a bit annoying. Like I think when the next queen
Mm,
comes out, like you can see that it's kind of half over her eye, like it was ill-fitting.
mm.
Which was kind
Which
of like, oh, did you buy that from Spotlight, love?
but it's a common thing I think I find with a lot of Silky's looks is that there's something on the look that just and it does make her a little bit more endearing to show that she's not 100% polished. It is more real because that is drag. Drag is not polished. Drag is something goes wrong, something doesn't fit right,
Yeah.
but you have to make it work. Um, and that's the one part about her that I find endearing is the fact that no matter what, she goes out and she makes it work. But yeah, I'll be interested to see how far she gets in this season. Next queen is another season 11 and All Star 6 alumni, Miss Raja O'Hara. So Silky originally placed runner up in season 11. Raja made top 6, I believe. She looks great. She's one that had a redemption in All Star 6. So she was classed as a villain in her original season and came back and won the fans' favor in All Star 6. I'm excited to see it because she gives great confessionals. Great confessionals.
We were watching it and Benny was like, I think she might be my favorite for this season. And then that
Yeah,
was quickly changed by somebody else, but she's definitely his top, I guess maybe 2 or 3. I'd like
yeah.
to see her get as close to the end as possible at this point, but you know, opinions
She's another
change.
one. She's another one that makes 90% of her outfits, if not
Okay.
more. So she's going to give you amazing runways on top of that. Her entrance look, I was a fan of. Like she looks stunning, in like just gorgeous. Um, yeah, I'm excited for her.
Same.
Our next queen is so we've done America. Oh yeah, from the UK season 2, UK season 2, 3, UK season 3. Sorry, UK season 3 is Vanity Milan, or is it Victoria Scone? No, it's Victoria Scone.
I love the
My bad.
I love the like confidence you had with that. And then you're like,
No,
maybe
yeah,
not. It was not Victoria Scone.
it was Vanity.
It was Vanity.
Yeah, okay. I literally just watched this before getting ready, and I've already forgotten which order they came out.
I mean, it's
Um,
hard. Like there's so many of them.
yeah, so it is Vanity Milan. So she was known as the lip sync assassin of season 3. Um, amazing lip syncs every time she performed, which we see again later in this episode. Not so well known for her runways, but she already says that she's upped her game since then. Another queen that's been touched by an angel. I will say the only part of her outfit that I did not like
the wig
was the hair.
Yeah.
I love the cultural representation of it with the braids and the beads.
I feel like you're going to have the same issue with it that I did.
Loved the front portion. Did not like the alfalfa spike.
Oh, okay. I see. Didn't mind the alfalfa spike, but when she walks over to the other queens and they all have a little hug and a cuddle, the back, you could see her, you know, it looked a little bit like, you know, have you seen online when people make like wigs for their Barbies and they like have the tape and then they glue things on? It kind of had that vibe to it. Like it felt cheap and a DIY job. If it was a DIY job, still really good, but I guess a little unpolished. Kind of did what, you know, Michelle always talks about, and it kind of took us out of the illusion a little bit, for me anyway. And I was a bit like, oh, that's disappointing. Otherwise, you look amazing. And that orange was lovely on her.
Oh, the orange on her skin is phenomenal. And it almost became her signature color, because on UK season 3, she had like 4 runways, I believe, one after the other, where she was wearing orange. Michelle did call her out on it. But yeah, orange looks amazing on her. And she looked great. I'm excited to see her perform, especially throughout this season, because you know she can turn a lip sync.
I am excited for you to see what your eye did when you got very engrossed into your comment that you were just giving.
Oh, okay.
I've never seen an eye roll like that in my life.
In a good way or a bad way?
In like, are you a lizard person kind of way?
Watch me lick my own eyeball. And our final queen to enter is another UK representative, also from season 3, Miss Victoria Scone, who is the first woman to have ever appeared on a Drag Race franchise. Sorry, let me rephrase. First cisgendered woman to have ever appeared on a Drag Race franchise. First lesbian to have appeared on a Drag Race franchise, and was rumored to be a top contender for season 3 before having to be removed from the competition due to blowing out her own knee. So I'm not just the only one. I'm sure the rest of the world is super excited to see what she brings, because we only got the smallest taste of her in the UK.
So FYI, she is my favorite already. And it's not just because of the comedy stylings of our great British humor, but I'm into her so much.
I loved when she got to the end of the workroom and she goes, "I'm fat." I died. I was like,
love it. Yeah, I'm so excited for her.
She's gonna be amazing to watch. I mean, she's obviously a comedy queen, and I think a lot of her runways are going to be very wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I have an issue with her runway look later on, which we'll get to. Yeah, there was something off about it, but yeah, I'm excited to see how she does, because she can also turn a lip sync. She was one of the top 2 on the very first episode of UK season 3, and I believe won the lip sync from memory,
right,
against eventual winner Crystal Versace. But yeah, so that's our new crop of all stars for Canada versus the world. So we've got 4 Canadians, 1 down under, 2 Yanks, and 2 Brits. Another little bit of inside tea. So a lot of people were.
I feel like I need to create you a little logo and a little like musical interlude that's like tea with Maya.
A lot of people were questioning why it was only English-speaking queens on this iteration of Versus the World. It is rumored that several of the Italian, French, and I believe Spanish queens were contacted and all turned it down. So it would have been more of a Versus the World had they accepted, but I believe that they turned it down. So that is why it is it's not a majority, it is an entirely English-speaking iteration this time around. So yeah, there are new crop of queens. The main challenge this
Oh,
this first episode.
Before we get to the main challenge, just very, very quickly, Brooklyn Heights welcome look.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the one thing that I will say, so my housemate and I discussed it. Brooklyn's also obviously had some surgical enhancements since season 11.
Many angels on these
Mm.
sets.
Also, little thing, it'll be interesting to see how judging goes, considering she's judging two of her fellow season 11 sisters, in both
Yes.
Silky and Raja. But yeah, so she's had a lot of work done, and since having her cheeks done, it makes her eyes look smaller and more together. So it looks like she's constantly like squinting. I'm not a fan of the mullet. We all know I fucking hate a mullet.
Yeah.
Like, no chic, shaggy. No, I fucking hate a mullet. Get rid of the mullets. Mullets need to die. I do love the fact that she came out in a suit with heels on,
Yes,
and then turns around and goes, "Bitches, I'm not competing." I like my position on the judges panel. No.
Yeah, I like sitting over there. Thank you. Yeah, like I like the look. I love a pantsuit and a heel.
Oh yeah, same. I'm the queen of pantsuits.
You hear that? But yeah, I loved it. Again, not a fan of the mullet. I thought her, she looked nice, but
yeah, she looked serviceable.
Yeah.
So yeah, cut straight to our first main challenge, which is girl groups. The queens get to pick their own teams. We end up with Rita, Victoria, and Anita in one team, so the comedy queens. We end up with the Canadian queens, Kendall, Stephanie, and Isis, and then we end up with our melanated queens, which are Raja, Silky, and Vanity. I don't want to go too far into them in the workroom because that's irrelevant. We're here just to discuss the main meat of the show.
Yeah.
But the one thing I want to touch on is I thought it was a very, very, very important subject that they covered when they were going through writing the lyrics, and Vanity brought up the whole "we are all different, remember our names." Even more so considering just recently the UK Drag Race fan page.
Ooh, yes, please talk about this because I was scrolling through my Insta and I saw an apology and I was like, what are we apologizing for? What did I miss?
So when Dakota Schiffer from the most recent season of Drag Race got eliminated, she was talking about queens that she befriended, and she mentioned another queen, which was Baby, who's a great black queen. And the Drag Race page put up a photo of Black Pepper, who is also another black queen from the same season, who's one of the 4 finalists. So everyone was like, are you serious? You really confused the only 2 black queens on the same season for each other? And so they had to apologize, which rightfully so.
Yes.
But it's a constant thing that all the black queens that appear on any iteration of the franchise deal with people calling them each other's names. So Tia Coffey from season 2 of UK a while ago put up a massive thing just being like calling out everyone for confusing her, Estina Mandela, It's Taste, and Vanity Milan for all being each other. So just being like, we are not her, she is not me, we are not them, like, remember our names. Vanity, after a well, as well, called him out being like, there are 9 white queens on the same season and no one confuses them for each other. So why do the only black queens always get confused for each other? So I think it was a very important message for her to deliver, the fact that the Drag Race fandom is toxic at the best of times, but it's casual racism is what it is, by not even being bothered to learn which queen is which and remembering which queen is which, especially when they're either a queen of color or a First Nations queen or any form of minority.
My mum has a term that she uses when anybody does, anything like that. She calls it casual cunting.
100%, because you know fully well what you're doing. There is no, oh, it was accidental. No, you know fully well what you were doing.
And the fact, so the post came from Drag Race,
the official Drag Race page,
who essentially employed these drag queens,
Mhm.
knowing
Mhm.
full well who they were, had them in
Mhm.
their,
Mhm.
post production, had all of the footage of their,
Yep.
like,
Put
it's
it this
just,
put it
you
this way.
can't, there's no apology for that. That's just
That
shit.
intern lost their job.
Oh, 100%.
Like there's no coming back from that. You royally fucked up, especially in this day and age of social media being everything. Doing anything like that, you done fucked up, Aaron. All right. So main challenge. Just quickly touching on this. So girl groups. I thought the song was it was very clearly geared towards the comedy team.
Mm-hmm. Bonjour,
Like
hi.
this, yeah. But it was very fast. Every Queen's verses were like
I couldn't understand it.
super. Oh, we watched it with subtitles because Brock has to watch everything with fucking subtitles, because he's going deaf. But we watched it with subtitles, and that was the only way I understood what the Queens were saying. But like, it was so fast, so snappy. And I was like, "The fuck is this?" But I found the song was very much geared and tailored towards Rita, Anita, and Victoria.
Yeah.
I thought it failed the other two teams a little bit. If anything, they should have received their own style of the same song.
Mm-hmm. Or they could have at least gave them a snippet of the song and then let them pick their teams, because you might have been able to go, okay, you know what? It
I
is
don't
more
think
to the
that
comedy queens, and they could have,
no,
I don't
because
know,
see,
picked differently.
I don't think that would have helped. So by splitting up the comedy queens, it would have made every one of them look weaker. So by having the three groups together, it helped because they could play off of each other. Um, that's what I mean. I feel like each one of the groups should have been giving their own iteration of the song. So, for example, given something that was more tailored towards them.
Okay, yeah.
So you got an upbeat, over the top, campy Eurovision esque style song tailored to the comedy queens perfectly. Give the Canadian queens a more pop version, so more like an Ariana Britney style
Mm-hmm.
like version, and then give your melanated queens a full on like bitch track, like a Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, and that's not me saying because they're black queens they need to have a black style, but they all mentioned about the fact that that's the style of music that they listen to. So that should have been what they were given. Like, give them all strengths, so it would have showcased them all
Right. So like
better.
you would need yourself a Mariah track. I'd need myself a
Absolutely.
little bit country. It would be like,
Like, you give, like, if I was there and they gave me a Mariah track, I would 100% know how to slay that.
hmm.
You give me a fucking country track, and I'm going to be like a fish out of water. I mean, although I could do a little what Carrie Underwood, but
So no, her
uh,
performance in the EAMAs this week was just horrendous.
oh
And
really?
I love Carrie Underwood. She came down in this like severe thing, and she was just sort of like laying in it, like flopped. And it was go
Like her
YouTube it.
career?
It was yeah, the time that they were like, Carrie Underwood's had a terrible accident. Next time you see her, she's gonna look different. And she was touched by an angel. Bless her heart.
They all are. They all are. That's very southern. Bless her heart.
Okay, so Brooklyn's runway look.
Oh, oh, fuck me now. Oh, RuPaul could never. Oh,
Oof.
Brooklyn walked out and I instantly fucking came everywhere. Just everywhere.
Poor
Just
Brock.
all over the TV, all over the couch, all over the coffee table. Like fucking just squirted everywhere. It was fucking gorgeous.
So I have
She looked
notes.
amazing. Oh, okay.
I
This will determine the future of this podcast.
the dress was to die for. Like
Mhm.
100%. Like the gold bodice, the way that it had that almost like deconstructed black fabric coming off, and like the way that when she moved, her hips moved into
Oh,
the
it's just
black fabric,
mhm,
like flawless.
mhm,
Makeup, gorgeous.
mhm.
Hair, didn't love.
Okay, but I put this to you. So
Mm.
normally I do have critiques and this sort of stuff saying another hairstyle would be better. I cannot picture another hairstyle that would have showcased that in a way that that hair did. So if you had to put like a updo, it would have looked too pageanty, too Miss America, too you know, like very royal, like not the right look. Given her a short bob. Oh, maybe a slicked back bob might have worked.
Like a behind the ears.
Yeah, maybe.
Back.
Maybe. So very much similar to like what Anita has as her runway hair.
Yeah.
Maybe could have worked. Long hair, no, because again, it would have just detracted from everything. I think that short, stylized, almost Marcel Mosso finger wave esque hair that she had, I think that showcased everything perfectly. So you're wrong.
I would have liked a center part and a pullback with a low bun with some sort of glittery detail, or even just like a little something at the back.
Would have made her look too old. That's very Evita, very like Madonna Evita. No. So you're wrong.
It is funny because Benny's always like, I love listening to the wind up when you have an opinion and my microphone's like, no.
We're allowed differing opinions.
Of course, we'll just we'll agree to disagree.
You're just wrong.
That the hair wasn't great. Also, I could have done without the gloves.
That I'll agree with.
And I'm going to quit while I'm ahead. So Brooklyn, well done. We loved your look.
Yeah, first down the runway for our category of Queen of the World is Miss Anita Wiglet from Down Under. I was disappointed. So Queen of the World, and she walks out in a very basic tulle dress that for me needed a lot more to the bottom. Like it needed more ruffles, needed stones on it. It just needed more. If you're giving me Queen of the World and that's how you walk out, you're giving me more Queen's handmaiden.
I was feeling like, Barbie's quinceañera.
Yeah. I didn't also understand the black lipstick choice.
Her shoes were black.
It's regardless, black lipstick with such a bright, bold pink dress and slicked back white blonde hair. I just didn't. If that was the case, if she was doing it because she was wearing black shoes, she should have had Brooklyn's black gloves.
Yes.
Like black gloves. And then I would have covered the dress in pink and black stones to tie it all in. But again, made that skirt 50,000 times bigger.
It wasn't screaming. It wasn't screaming queen. It was like prom queen, maybe not queen of the world.
Prom queen of like the early 80s.
Yeah.
In rural New South Wales.
She's from Broken Hill.
Second queen down was Rita Baga. Was it? Or Victoria?
Rita. It was Rita.
Rita, yeah.
Yeah. In the yellow regal.
She was giving me queen of the world. I didn't understand the bedazzled hot dog scepter. And I'm not a huge fan of the color palette she chose. So the bright pink with the bright yellow, I just thought it was very harsh to the eyes. She looked like makeup and hair. She looked stunning though. Oh, fuck.
There she is. And we're back.
I got so far through it.
You really did.
But yeah, she looked gorgeous face up. The dress, wasn't my favorite.
Third queen.
Was Victoria Scone.
So excited to hear your review of this outfit.
I'm calling it her herpes dress.
Ooh, yeah.
So when she said she was coming out dressed as a scone with the jam and cream, I got that down the bottom with the purple jam and then the white cream. Got that. And then I understood that the top part was supposed to be the scone. I didn't understand the giant polyps of herpes that were covering her chest and shoulders.
So you say herpes, to me, she looked a bit warty.
That's what herpes is, like warts.
Yeah, but like
yeah, warty. It's just, think of like anal warts, like the polyps.
That's where she's at.
So I didn't understand it. I'm like, I've never had a scone that's covered in warts or herpes or.
Well, I feel like they were supposed to be little scones, but if you were coming out as a big scone, why do you have tiny little scones on you?
And then, like, if they were dark, like choc chips, like she's supposed to be a choc chip scone, I would have maybe understood a little bit more. But I was just like, Oh, that missed the mark for
Well,
me.
she
The
had
rest
the
of
little
it,
chocolate chips on her dress as well. So it was
so yeah,
from waist down,
gorgeous.
love,
Neck up.
neck up, love.
Here, no. Oh,
Fail.
I just want to side note as well. I loved
Yeah.
how she was outrageously flirting with the guest judge this week.
Oh, yes.
And
She has no shame. I love it.
and what I loved was she made several lesbian jokes throughout the episode that everyone is just like, oh, and I'm like, oh, about time we got some decent sort of different humor on there. Like in
Yeah.
her lyrics as well, where she talks about how she'll cream first. I was like,
And also, just
yeah,
as an FYI, as gay and queer men, do we really have to always be so put off by the fact that lesbians have sex too?
no,
Like,
like my boss is a lesbian, and we talk about it all the time.
yeah, I do too, but I know so many people who are like
It's
gay
because
guys who are just like,
because vaginas are gross.
vaginas are fine. Get over it. It's just a vagina. Next out was Kendall Jenner.
Kendall Jenner. And I didn't understand her look for Queen of the World either. She looked very much like the captain of the Royal Guard with the
Yeah.
swords and the cape and the ill-fitting pants with the baggy crotch. And where there was a slither of skin showing between the boot and the bottom of the shorts. So when she's walking down, you can see her legs showing through. I'm like, not the greatest showing of, like, if this is your first time walking the runway, to reintroduce yourself, not the greatest.
No, it was very much like I felt like she was almost like from Aladdin and she was Jafar's guard. She had that very Agrabah vibe going on, which was cute, but just not Queen of the
Yep.
World.
No, no. Our next queen was
Isis Couture.
ah
Now this gave
this
me Queen vibes.
this gave me I am queen and I am never letting go of my fucking crown. You will have to kill me, and even then I will come back from the death and keep my motherfucking crown.
I mean, royal blue and then white feathers.
So inside tea.
Yeah.
So I found on Instagram today the designer that helped her with this outfit, and it's actually inspired by a Barbie. So there is a royal Barbie that has this exact outfit, that they've obviously changed slightly to be more draggy and for real life. But this whole look was inspired by a Barbie doll, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, I love it, and I want that cape piece. That
I want the whole look.
I mean,
whole look.
You can have the dress and I'll have the cape.
Done.
Cool.
Then we're followed by Stephanie Prince, who comes out in a very, I want to say, traditional inspired. So she's gone the more queen of her culture. Loved the headpiece, the pots on top of her head. Loved the cultural significance. She says it's tied very much to her granddad. So I love that interpretation. My only critique of it was it felt like the bodysuit felt very much like she'd bought it from a costume shop as like a traditional tattooed bodysuit.
Yep, this is my exact thoughts. Loved everything about the outfit apart from that bodysuit. Like if it was this fabric was more sheer, so you could actually, I guess, see her skin tone underneath it, or if she had more time, like she could have just tattooed some of this on her and not done an entire body.
The design, because it looked almost wet, like leatherette look, is what was putting me off. Like it didn't look like it was tattooed on her body because it looked like it was leather straps that had been sewn onto the bodysuit. So I would have liked, if you want to do it draggy, make that all black rhinestones. So cover yourself in black rhinestones to do it.
Dazzle that shit.
That would have looked camp. Or hand painted on so that way then it looks more realistic, more natural. That was my only critique for that. Otherwise, she looked amazing. Like, and I 100% here for bringing your own cultural aspects to the runway and showcasing it for the world.
Up next, Vanity Milan.
I love it and I don't. So I loved the bodice, that bedazzled white peplum, stunning. She also looks great in white. She looks great in any color. With her skin tone, any color, she looks phenomenal. Hated the skirt.
It was the
It was not,
quilted
it was not here for grabbing the duvet off the hotel, sorry, off the motel bed, grab it and just wrapping it around. And I also, the headpiece as well just felt a bit too small for me.
Yeah, I loved it, but yeah, it needed to be
It needed to,
it needed to come out more like this as
yeah,
opposed to
come out a
being
little
so
bit, come out a little bit wider, so that way
Yeah.
then it didn't feel very much like engulfing her head.
It was a little claustrophobic.
Like, she still looked great. It was just, like I said, a little bit. She was about 60% there for me.
Yeah.
About 60% there.
Up next,
Following her, Raja O'Hara. Oh, I mean, okay, so just judging it based on the look alone, loved it.
Yeah.
Love the color purple. The pants are amazing. We all know I love a pant. Pants are amazing. Just the way the puffy come and the right positions for the cutouts. Purple hair, so purple's her signature color. Like, she rocks it.
Really
I don't get Queen of the World.
No.
This didn't give me regal. It didn't give me royal. It was very much, it's a fabulous look. Just for me, didn't fit the thing.
100% agree with all of that.
I love when we agree. And I even love it more when I'm the one that says it and you agree with me. So our final queen, Miss Silky Nutmeg Ganache. So she comes out originally in almost like a funeral garb. So black dress, black umbrella, handkerchief. And I'm like, Queen of the World?
Queen of the funeral?
She then does a reveal, throws the umbrella, throws the hanky, spins around, takes the black off. And I will say this gown is gorgeous.
All the sparkles.
She looks amazing. She looks regal. She looks expensive. She looks like the dress just fits her beautifully. Like, she looks amazing. Like, the Nana's couch fabric looks great in that style of ball gown. And the amount of hours that must have been spent stoning that dress, ridiculous. Like, she just glides along, and then when she does a little spin and sits down at the end of the runway, like 10 out of 10 for Silky. Like, this was phenomenal.
This was a great look.
So then we cut to it, and we get Raja and Silky are announced as our safe queens. I reckon as well. So because obviously this is produced by World of Wonder, they want to protect the US queens because they're most well known. So you'd very rarely see a US queen in the bottom of the first episode, I find. Our top two are announced as Rita Baga and Vanity Milan.
I only agree with one of those.
Vanity?
Yeah.
Who would you have put in Rita's place?
Silky, based on the runway. But based
on runway and challenge, it was either Rita or Victoria for me.
Yeah, Victoria over
so
Rita.
I feel,
but she lost it at the runway. If she didn't have those little.
Well, but even still, I feel even if without she didn't have the polyps / herpes / warts, without that, the dress would have been very plain. Her dress definitely wasn't giving me Queen of the World. So I think Rita was deserved for this. Our bottom two queens, surprisingly, was Kendall and Stephanie. Now, as much as I love
I wasn't surprised in the sense that I wasn't surprised that we were seeing two Canadians in the bottom.
I'm not surprised with that because, I mean, you started with 4. They've got to get rid of someone, and it makes more sense to get rid of one of the majority.
Canadians going in the bottom.
But as much as I love her, I was honestly thinking that Anita was going to be one of the bottom two.
Yes.
So, because the judges just did not love her runway look. I thought it was going to be Kendall and Anita in the bottom two. I think Kendall's performance is I think Anita's performance is what saved her. So top two queens lip sync to, what was the song again? I feel like it was an Angeline song.
Song. I can't remember what it was called. Shit.
Vanity turns it out as expected. She's a lip sync assassin. Like, we know that she's going to turn a lip sync this season. So she did amazing. She wins the lip sync. And she, after a deliberation in their version of Untucked, where she has a nice little chat with Stephanie about representation, where Stephanie talks about being the only Asian queen on the cast, Vanity chooses Miss Kendall Gender to go home first. Not surprised, but at the same time, am surprised because she did so well on her original season that I'm shocked that she went home so early.
Based on solely on this, out of the bottom two, I'm not surprised that she was the one to go home, particularly after the Untucked situation and the conversations. Like, I think Stephanie did right by herself in talking about representation. And I think for particularly, you know, being a queen of color, to want to help representation, to you know, give them a fair go, Aussie. But yeah, I'm not surprised that she stayed. And also her runway look was very much more royal vibes, even maybe not queen of the world, but definitely queen of her culture. And then you know, whereas Kendall's was just, where's my magic flying carpet?
Yeah, ill-fitting, just didn't make sense.
Yeah. So I'm okay not knowing too much about Kendall from previous seasons, as to have not watched it. I'm okay for her to go. I feel like it was very much explained that she did really, really well last time. So we know that she's capable of a lot of things, but then this is All Stars, and so anyone can go at any time.
Yeah, it's anything can happen. All it takes is one bad week for you to land in the bottom and someone's going to take you out.
Miss Maya, what are your overall thoughts of Canada versus the world?
I'm excited to review this season. I think it's going to be great. Obviously, we had originally intended to review UK season 4, but we obviously ran out of time because
this bitch needed a break.
Well, it crept up on us so quickly. We weren't ready for it to start so soon. Literally, we wrapped up filming Wind Up for Down Under, and straight away the next week UK was launching, and we're like, okay, yeah, no, we're missing this one.
Yeah, and I'm happy with this one because I actually I'm quite intrigued by all the queens that are in this one. They excite me a little bit more than a lot of the new queens on Drag Race UK.
But yeah, so that was our welcome back episode to the Wind Up. Don't forget, you can catch us every single week here on either YouTube or Spotify, depending where you prefer to either listen to our sultry, sensual voices or watch our antics in live, living color. You can follow. You can follow him.
You're about to flash us.
No, God no. I'm in sweatpants. Doing a RuPaul. You can follow him on Instagram at Shaun Phillip Official. You can follow me at Crafone. You can follow this podcast at the windup_pod. We're going to continue on for this entire iteration of Canada versus the world. And then hopefully after that, it'll bring us into time for US season 15.
Ooh, much content, much to do.
Look, we're going full time with this baby. It's gonna be our weekly little wind. It's gonna be our weekly little wind up. See what I did there?
I see what you did. You've done this before, haven't you? I will say before we leave, there is one thing that seems to be missing from season 1 of the Wind Up that's not going to make it into every episode this time, but here's one for
my balls.
Well, no, they probably will. But here's one for Yuri Guy.
Oh,